Hello, folks. Welcome to today's football predictions on Betcraft. Today is another very beautiful Sunday morning, and once again, we've come with our predictions on this very channel. You know, we know so many games are going on across the globe, and we selected a few of them and looked into them before bringing it forward for you. All right. In a short while, we'll be looking at this matches one after the other. But before we head on, we're looking at how we fared yesterday. Yesterday we actually quite successful in our predictions. Yesterday we saw that one of the tickets that we had yesterday actually all the game in it actually played. That was second ticket that we had yesterday. So congratulations to those of us who played that very game. And we'll be looking at these matches one after the other. Yesterday's matches before we proceed. And yesterday's games, in the first ticket we have Celta Vigo coming up against Barcelona. And we predicted that Barcelona will win that match, but unfortunately we saw that match ending out on a 2-2 draw. Celta Vigo scoring two quick goals during the dying moments of the game. All right, and we also predicted that Stuttgart versus Bochum so come up over 2.5, and also that one ended up being scoring only two goals. Okay, but this last match in the first ticket was Hellas Verona versus Inter Milan. And we saw Inter Milan beating this very side by 5 goals to 0, just as we predicted yesterday. All right, and the second ticket that we had, which is actually a successful one, we had Saint Etienne who came up against Montpellier, and we predicted that Saint Etienne to either win or draw, and Saint actually ended up winning that very match. And the second game in that second ticket was in the Dutch match, Feyenoord coming up against Herenveen, and we expected Feyenoord to win, and that's exactly what happened. And they won by 3 goals to 0. And also the last in the second ticket was in the Turkish match where we have a Bodrum who came up against Galatasaray, and we expected Galatasaray to win, and exactly what happened. And Galatasaray won that very match by 1 goal to 0, and that was those games of yesterday. But today we'll be having another two tickets as usual. Each of these two tickets contains 3 games in it. And before we go ahead, one use the opportunity to ask the folks coming across our video for the first time that are yet to subscribe to kindly take out time to hit the subscribe button right now, so you will not be missing out on our games that will always come up on this very channel. All right, today we'll be starting with the very first match, and it is in the English Premier League, where we'll have Southampton coming up against Liverpool. That's the first match of the first ticket, and in this very account, seeing the records for both sides, we also know that in the last 6 for Liverpool, they've actually won 5 games and had 1 draw. They've not lost a single match, and Southampton have only managed 2 victories, but have lost 4 games in the last 6 matches. And looking at how they fared from home and away perspective, Liverpool have won 8 games from away, and the other 2 being a draw. They've not lost any single match in the last 10 away games that they have so far. And playing for home, Southampton have only managed to achieve 4 victories, 3 draws, but have lost 3 games also from home. And in this very one, without spending so much time, a win is expected in this one. Liverpool to win outrightly. That's our Friday for that very game. Okay, the second game in the first ticket is actually in Serie A, where we have Napoli who come up against Roma. It's a very tough one, and we know that Napoli have won 4 games in the last 6 matches. They've also had 1 draw, but also 1 loss in the last 6 games that they had in recent times. So Roma, on the other hand, have actually managed to achieve 2 wins, 1 draw, but have lost 3 games in the last 6 games that they have so far. And when we look deeply from a home and away perspective, you can see that the home side, Napoli, have actually managed to achieve 7 victories in the last 10 home matches that they had, and have lost 2 and 1 draw in the last 10 home matches that they have so far. And away side, on the other hand, Roma have managed just a single victory in the last 10 away games, but they've also lost 3 games, and they've had 6 draws in the last 10 away games that they have so far. So that's a lot of draw for the away side. And last time both teams met was actually in April. This year we saw Napoli and Roma playing out a 2-2 draw on that occasion. But in this very one, however, it's actually the home side, Napoli, to either win or draw, and under 4.5 in that very encounter. All right. The next game in the first ticket is actually in Serie B, which is Spezia, who will be up against Sochiro in the Serie B. And in this very account, knowing that Spezia have actually been able to achieve 4 victories in the last 6 matches, and have also had only 2 draws, but have not lost a day match. But as you throw, and the away side have managed just 1 win, 1 draw, but have lost 4 games in the last 6 matches that they have so far. And looking from home and away perspective, The home side Spezia have won 9 games in the last 10 home matches. They've had 1 draw. That tells you that they've won 90% of the home matches, and the away side Draw have only managed to achieve 2 wins, 2 draws, but have lost 6 games in the last 3 wins and 2 draws. They've lost 5 games in the last 10 away games that they have so far. So in this very encounter, knowing that Spezia have always been quite dominant of this very tie, and we expect the home side Spezia to achieve a result in this one. It's quite a bigger odd, and we expect a home win in this one. That concludes the first ticket for today. All right, home win. That's our value for that very game. All right, that takes us to the next ticket for today, the second ticket for the day, and it starts with the very first match in there, actually in French League One, where we have Auxerre who will be up against Angers. All right, and Auxerre, is a team in fine form at the moment, seeing that they've won 3 games in the last 6 matches. They've actually won 4 games in the last 6 matches and 1 draw as well as 1 loss in the last 6 games that they have so far. And Angers, on the other hand, have won 2. They've had 2 draws, but have lost 2 as well. And when you look at how these 2 teams have performed from home and away perspective, Auxerre, surprisingly, have seen 9 victories in the last 10 home matches that they have so far in League One, and they've also lost 1, which was against Monaco. And Angers, on the other hand, managed to achieve 3 wins. They've also had 3 draws, but have lost 4 matches in the last 10 away games that they have so far. So, but in this very encounter, looking at the recent result for Auxerre, we could see that in the last 5 meetings for Auxerre, playing from home, they've actually produced matches that are high in the score line, over 2.5 in the minimal, and in this very encounter we actually expect to see that also playing out in this very game. So over 2.5, that's our value for that very encounter. All right, the next for the second ticket is actually in Turkey, where we have Besiktas coming up against Gusti, and also we could see that Besiktas is a team that scores a lot of goals as well. The last 2 home matches that they played have actually produced over 2.5, and in the last 5 home matches they've seen over 2.5, 4 times out of 5, and as well Gusti, on the other hand, the last home match they've had also saw them achieving over 2.5 as well. And in this very game, we also note the fact that Besiktas have actually quite dominated this very fixture, but in this very encounter we would expect to see a minimum of 3 goals appearing as well in this very game. So over 2.5, that's our value for that very encounter. All right, and that takes us to the next which I'm going to be the last for the second ticket. It is in Belgium, where we have Michelin who will be up against the Bishop Wilrik. Or when you look at the home side, Michelin have had 4 wins in the last 6 matches. They've had 1 draw as well as 1 loss, and the away side Bishop have had 2 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss. And in this very encounter, knowing that Michelin have actually dominated the head-to-head meetings for both sides, winning in the last 6 head-to-head meetings. So we do expect Michelin, the home side, to achieve a result in this one. It is the home side to win outrightly. That's our value for that very game. Okay, that concludes the second ticket for today. But we have 1 more match, bonus tip. I was advised to play this one separately because it's actually a very big odd. It is in Armenia, but we have PNA will be up against Noah FC. Okay, and we know that these 2 teams are quite big, good teams in Armenia. They've been doing very well in recent times, and we could see that PNA in the last 6 games that they had have actually won the entire 6 matches, and the side and New have managed to achieve 4 wins out of those, and have lost 2. But when you look at how they fare from home and away, PNA have actually won 8 games in the last 10 home matches, and they have lost 2 as well, and the away side Noah have managed to achieve 3 wins, 1 draw, as well as 6 losses in the last 10 away games that they have. So far, that tells you a lot about these very sides. But we know that these 2 teams are quite even in terms of strength. But it's a very risky game. I always advise you play it separately. My verdict for that very encounter is actually Pioneer, the home side, to win outright in this very one, because looking at the result, there are not a lot of draws for both teams from home and away. So it is home win outrightly. That's our value for that very bonus tip. All right, that concludes our predictions for you today on BetCraft. Tomorrow is another day, and we'll come up with this very predictions on this very channel. But until then, keep winning.